it's Pank from HnOProject friends. I hope you're well, and today I will continue our NLP course. So we understand that we need to have thoughts, mindsets. We need all the time test, operate the change, and test to observe if everything is okay. And we understand that we can have a better rapport with people with good mirroring, pace, and lead. Uh, in this area, we understand that more close to the good rhythm of our partner we are, and better it will be to give a communication, because every communication have a goal, and you need to keep in mind which goal you will use. To be very good in your report, it will be interesting to use the good work, the good pre-K that our partner will have. So we need to take care about his body language and his semantics to understand if is more visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. Now we create trends with our partner. We saw that in some last videos. And what can we do with that? If we have a goal, and we have always a goal with communication, but if this goal is very clear for you, you will lead some time for oriented where you want to go. For me, the best stuff, like I explained to you, was to stay in pace, ask some question, just interrupt the pattern of the communication of your partner to give a suggestion and change sometime, or reframe what you're talking about, and more of that to drive little by little in the space that you know and or you want to go to have feedback about your goal. One interesting point in indirect hypnosis, covert hypnosis in NLP is to use the metaphor. The metaphor is something that we all use every day in our life. We give an image or storytelling about some stuff, and we give for better comprehension of our own idea a very specific storyline, and like that our partner can go in these imaginative words. Metaphor is interesting because we will use the imagination of our partner, and it will be in internal focalization. So at this moment, what you will explain with your semantics will become more realistic for your partner, because everything you think about, your brain can't make the difference between the idea and the reality. It's why in NLP we use a lot the metaphor or the imagination, and we know the imagination is the subconscious mind. So we will give to our partner the opportunities to go in his own mind and create a story about what we will give, like in cinema, like a teaser. You will just give some information, some idea in your metaphor, and you will put an emphasis about some specific image or idea, and it will be able to go inside what you will explain, and it will be easier for him to understand what you mean. It will be easier for you because you will use your VAC system, so visual, auditory, kinesthetic. It will be interesting because sometimes when you want to give a complex idea, it gives everything easier, because at this moment you just make a comparison with some stuff. So at this moment you will say, okay, it's not that, but it's look like the first time you did that in your car, and it's the same stuff and so on. And your partner can go back, if you take for example past experiences, or in all fairy system, because at this moment your partner in his own trance, and that's the point, he's in trance, so it's easy for him to create a very interesting point of view about what you explain. So you will little by little give your idea with metaphor, and it will be a lot of time stronger than a direct suggestion. Why? Because he can create with his own perception of the world, with his own map. And we will study that. But in the Milton model, we will understand that we will give suggestion, metaphor, with unspecific language. Why? Because we want our partner go inside themselves and create a perception and his own way to create the scenario of what you explain. So at this moment, he will be in connection with you, with your rapport. He will be very close in trance, and all the metaphoric idea will become something he will himself create. And at this moment, a very important point is to understand that if someone think about an idea, you give an idea with a metaphor, for example, he will create his own perception of this metaphor. So a lot of people will think that the idea you share with him with a metaphor become his own creation, so his own idea, and at this moment it will be easier to let him think is right about what he will say, because he will say a quite close idea from what you give in your communication with metaphor. In fact, more creative can be, more in his own translation he can have, more you will have a feedback about an agreement on what you will explain to him, or in the direction that you want it take. So at this moment you are in influence mode. You will just give to his subconscious mind the idea that is the leader of what he think and what he will do. But in fact, you give with the metaphor an idea about the direction, and you let them go in his own universe, and let them think that they keep control about everything, and more of that, about the decision that he will take at a moment. It's very powerful, because when we think about the metaphor system, a lot of people think, okay, it's just an image, it's just an idea like that. But the process, the inside process is more complex. And in NLP, it's quite interesting to understand what we do and why we do that. We are in trance, so we are more suggestible. We give an idea, an image with metaphor, with the main point that we want to obtain, that the goal of our communication, and we let him create the whole story around the idea and in this metaphor, and let him seed himself the idea that he find a solution or an orientation that you give to him before with the metaphor. So it's quite subtle and tricky, and it's very interesting to use. If you have some question, just let me know, like every day. Take what is good for you. Take care. Bye bye.